Atletico Madrid's founding document lists 3 students as founders. None of them stayed past 1904. The club they abandoned is now the 3rd most successful in Spanish football history. This is the story of a breakaway built on a single philosophical difference that tore Madrid's football community in half. In 1902, Athletic Bilbao was already the most powerful football club in Spain. Founded by British shipyard workers and Basque miners in Bilbao, it dominated every regional tournament it entered. The club's identity was inseparable from Basque culture. Only Basque players, Basque coaches, Basque pride. When Basque students moved to Madrid for university, they brought that identity with them. In 1902, they founded Athletic Club de Madrid as an official branch of the mother club in Bilbao. Same red and white kit, same rules, same policy. Basque players only. But Madrid in 1902 wasn't Bilbao. It was Spain's capital, a cosmopolitan city filled with students, workers and football enthusiasts from across the country. The Basque students had built a good team, but they were turning away talented players every week simply because they weren't Basque. By 1903, the Madrid branch had a problem. The policy that defined them in Bilbao was suffocating them in Madrid. 3 students, Enrique Allende, Julián Ruete, and Juan Padros, proposed a radical change. Open the club to all players, regardless of ethnicity. To the leadership in Bilbao, this wasn't just a tactical disagreement, it was cultural betrayal. The Basque-only policy wasn't arbitrary, it was existential. Athletic Bilbao saw itself as the athletic expression of a stateless people, and the policy was the boundary that kept that identity intact. Bilbao refused the change. So in April 1903, Allende, Ruete, and Padros did something no one expected. They broke away entirely. They refounded the club as Athletic Club de Madrid, legally independent from Bilbao, with one policy change: any player could join. Most of the original Athletic Madrid players stayed with the Basque branch, which continued operating under Bilbao's authority. The breakaway club had to rebuild from almost nothing. Here's where the founding story gets strange. Allende, Ruete, and Padros, the 3 founders listed on the 1903 document, all left the club within a year. Historians aren't sure why. Some suggest they returned to Bilbao after graduation. Others believe they simply lost interest once the fight was over. What's certain is that the club they left behind didn't collapse. It began to grow. By 1904, the open-door policy was working. The breakaway Athletic Madrid had recruited players from Castile, Andalusia, and Madrid itself, building a team that reflected the city rather than a single region. Meanwhile, the original Basque branch in Madrid, still loyal to Bilbao, was struggling to find enough eligible players. By 1907, it quietly folded. The breakaway had won by default, but it still carried Athletic Bilbao's colours and half of its name. That would become a problem. In 1921, Athletic Madrid faced Athletic Bilbao in the Copa del Rey final. Both clubs wore red and white stripes, both used the word athletic. Both claimed to represent the true spirit of the name. The Spanish Football Federation forced a resolution. One club had to change its name. Bilbao, older and more politically powerful, kept the name Athletic. The Madrid club, forced to rebrand, chose Atlético Madrid, a Spanish translation that acknowledged the shared origin while marking the final separation. The name stuck, but the philosophical divide that created the split never went away. Athletic Bilbao still operates under the Basque-only policy today, more than 120 years later. It has never signed a non-Basque player, never bent the rule, never compromised. Atletico Madrid went the opposite direction. It became one of the most internationally diverse clubs in Europe, signing players from 6 continents. The choice made in 1903 to build a team around talent rather than heritage became the defining characteristic of everything Atletico would become. Today, Atletico has won 11 La Liga titles, 10 Copa del Rey trophies and 3 Europa Leagues. But the story that matters most isn't the trophies, it's the choice. 3 students who walked away from the club they founded changed Spanish football by asking one question: should a team represent where you're from or what you can do? Atletico answered with a century of proof. Next time, we head to Turin, where a group of students created a club that wasn't supposed to let Italians play.